Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be looking at EndeavourOS. Um, EndeavourOS, for those that don't know, is supposed to be a spiritual successor to Antergos, however you want to pronounce it. And Antergos stopped development, I don't know, a few months ago. Can't remember exactly when. But I guess some of the developers got together and made this, which is EndeavourOS. And the goal of it is to... matter of fact, we'll go to their website right now. I believe if I remember correctly, their goal is to kind of ease people into like vanilla Arch Linux. And they like to say that their community is very their community is very so what I'm looking for, friendly, which is in a stark contrast to the Arch forums. So if you're a new user or a somewhat new, or like, I guess this is to help you get into Arch. So let's start looking around here to see what we got going here. I didn't do much to it. I installed Simple Screen Recorder so I can record this video. I forget if I installed anything else. I don't remember. No, I tried to record my desktop, because for a second there I got these two mixed up. But it was Simple Screen Recorder I was looking for, because it's easier to use that one. So we'll look around and see what they have installed here. Looks like they have Firefox for web browsing, XFCE. It's the XFCE desktop environment, it seems. So you got the Thunar Pro Settings Manager. I'm just going to go ahead and change this wallpaper here, because sorry, it's just it's not very pleasant to look at, that wallpaper. This one looks fine to me. Not sure what's going on with this, if maybe it's got Compiece running in the background. Let's see. No. What's it got for a compositor? Well, okay. Well, let's just keep looking around here. We'll see what we got going here. We got Kalu, which I did use Kalu to update the system. It seemed to go through without a hitch. Sensor viewer, settings manager, pulse audio controller. Got Gparted. Oh yeah, GTK GUI for rsync. HTOP, we were just using HTOP. We got calculator, I guess that's the GNOME calculator, I think. Anyway, well, that's an interesting choice. They have ZenMap installed by default, which, for those that don't know, ZenMap is the graphical front end for a tool called Nmap, or the network mapper, which is if ZenMap is installed, then Nmap must be installed as well. Yes. That is an odd thing to install by default. But, yeah, that's odd. Got transmission, ZenMap again. For some reason, did not want to. Doesn't look like it opened. Let's see what's going on with that. It's an interesting tool. I might dedicate a video to this. But this is like if you want to find like what ports are open on a certain server, or if you want to get like certain information about nodes on your network or whatever, it's usually used on pen testing distributions. Why they would include it in this distribution, I don't know. I would like to hear their reasoning behind that. That's kind of odd. Not knocking it. No, just never really saw that before. So we don't got much for Libre for Office. You know what I haven't seen yet? Is a graphical front end for package management. See if see Pamac. There's no Octopi. Looks like there's Calu, this thing here. But I'm not sure. I don't think this is for like searching for and installing packages. It looks like all this does is keep everything up to date. Could not resolve host. That's weird. Well, it looks like it'll show the option to show recent Arch Linux news. So I think this here is to get you into the habit of reading the Arch Linux news, which can be important at times because there might be some issues here and there that you might do some manual tweaking to get things to work. It seems like this distribution is trying to get people into the habit of doing things in the Arch way before actually installing Arch. So it's getting you as close to the Arch way as you can get to it without actually getting to it, if that makes any sense. It seems the only way to install an application is through the command line interface. Of course, this is an Arch-based distribution, and you know what? I'm not going to knock them for that either. I'm not going to knock them for not including a graphical package manager, because guess what? The point of this distribution is to get people into Arch. And spoiler alert, the Arch installer is a command line. It's a command line installer. So, I mean, it makes sense for them to kind of take the training wheels off at some point and say, like, okay, here, you're going to have, if you want to get into Arch, this... If you're not trying to get into Arch Linux, if you're not trying to get into vanilla Arch Linux, if you just want to take advantage of the advantages of Arch without the hassle of Arch, I would say maybe try Manjaro or Arco or something like that. But it seems like the purpose of Endeavor here is to wean people into vanilla Arch eventually. So like eventually, after you get used to this, you should be able to install it manually, vanilla Arch, blah blah blah. Okay, so dufo, what's that? Sudo. I'm going to install a package called neofetch, because I would like to see if it actually has a logo. Well, it comes up with the Arch logo. It says I'm running Arch. I guess the devs over at neofetch haven't made a logo for Endeavor yet. Oh, there is a logo for Endeavor. It looks like that's their logo down in the start menu there. Okay, a couple other things I want to check out. The terminal here is I'm gonna take a look at their pacman.conf file. Oh, I don't have NeoVim installed. We'll just use Nano then. Not a big deal. This isn't. I can't even write it because I'm not in sudo. I'm not as root right now, which is fine. Oh, they got the color enabled and the I Love Candy. For those that don't know, I Love Candy, the color part of that is what. Matter of fact, I'll open up a new tab here. Alright, you know what? Open up a new terminal window altogether. How about that? Clear that. I'm gonna go back into Nano pacman.com. Okay, so this is a pacman.com file right here, and for those that don't know, this is where you pretty much configure everything Pacman related, including what repositories you want enabled, and you can add repositories to it here and blah blah blah. Anyway, down here you have hashtag miscellaneous options, and it looks like they've included color, which for those that don't know what that's going to do is if I run sudo ss neofetch, this would normally come up like all white, but you see how that's purple, that's white, that's green, it's color coded. That's what that line does. That's what that does. That makes those colors. The I Love Candy, what that does is it. I'm just going to synchronize the database to show you what happens. See how you see Pac-Man running across the screen there, eating the pellets? That's what I Love Candy does. I thought that was pretty neat that they included that by default. Show that Arch can be fun. And I didn't even notice that until like I was reading that like almost like right now. And so it looks like they have the testing and repositories are included but disabled. That's good. You don't want, if you're not ready for that, don't enable those. The multi-lib is enabled by default. Ubuntu, take notes. So that you can get the 32-bit support for things like Steam. It looks like Endeavor enabled that by default. If you're installing Arch manually, this is commented out, but most people remove the comments for like obvious reasons, because a lot of applications still require 32-bit support. Oh, and it looks like they've added their own. Looks like they've added their own repository. EndeavourOS, and is pointing to a mirror list. And at C pacman-d. Interesting. Very interesting how they've decided to package this. Excuse me. I'm gonna go to pacman.d. We're gonna take a look at this. So it looks like we got our regular mirror list, and then we got the Endeavor mirror list. So they've set up their own repositories and everything. That's pretty sweet. Hopefully they keep this up. That's pretty sick. So the installer process, it wasn't the same as Antergos, they use the Calamaris installer, which is the same installer that Manjaro uses. Which Calamaris is for those that don't know, it is the best installer out there. So yeah, I wonder if you can get Pamac. Nope. Let's see. Yay. They did install Yay by default, which is a wrapper for Pac-Man and the AUR. Which I think there's going to be some mixed opinions about that as to whether or not AUR support should be included by default on an Arch distribution. I think it depends on your use case, obviously. Some people will need AUR access. Some people will need that. Some people will just want some things from the AUR, but some people, if you want to get like certain components working on your computer correctly, you're gonna need to get some things from the AUR. One example is, I'll show you here. Maybe it's not, but looks like they've included Broadcom wireless drivers in the community repo now. But at one point, Broadcom was not included in the main repositories, I don't think. I remember back when I first installed Arch on a system with Broadcom, it would kernel panic every single update, and it was just a terrible experience. Do not install Arch if you use Broadcom. Do not do it. Or use an LTS kernel and keep it there. Manjaro works fine with a Broadcom chipset, surprisingly, because you can control the kernels with Manjaro a little more easier than with vanilla Arch. So that's one way you can take advantage of everything Arch. And my suggestion is don't buy systems with Broadcom. Another thing you might need the AUR for is if you need for some reason the Chrome web browser or something like that. Like Skype is available in the AUR. Things like that. You do have to be careful with the AUR, obviously. But do your research as to what you're installing. But yeah. So let's see where Octopi is. If there's any. No. See, that's the thing. It seems like yeah, that's all you have to do to search for a package with Yay. You just type in Yay, followed by the package that you're looking for, and it'll give you a list here. And then you just hit the number, or you can give a list of numbers, or numbers 1 through 3, whatever, like it's saying there, and it'll run through and install them all. And if there's any results from the regular repositories, it'll show you those too, and you can select those too. But this is just a little easier for me with Yay because it'll show me literally everything that's available from everywhere. And that's one of the things that, ironically enough, has me hooked on Arch, is the fact that if it's available for Linux, I can search for it with just simple Yay package name, and if it's available for Linux, it will find it. That's something that not every distro can do, or not easily anyway. But anyway, I'm not going to install that right now. I'm more curious to see what's let's see, pacman.d. I'm more curious to see what's actually in these here repositories. Um, and so I'm just going to open up that. This might work, this might not. If not, there are other ways to get to it. Okay. Oh, so there's just mirror 3. Mirror 2. Mirror 1. Interesting. For those that don't know, you can search the repositories through a web browser. And a lot of these things that you can only get in AUR through Vanilla Arch, you can get directly through like Manjaro's main repositories. That's one of the differences, is that Manjaro curates their own repositories. And so, what are my final thoughts on this? It seems like they're accomplishing their goals pretty well, okay? And they're achieving. This distribution seems to be focusing on a specific use case of people who are looking to dive into vanilla Arch Linux. Okay, this seems to be like Arch Linux with training wheels, okay? If you're looking to eventually learn how to install vanilla Arch from the command line, this is for you. This will help you eventually become ready to do that. If, however, you are not looking to install Arch Linux via the command line, doing things the Arch way, but you do want to take advantage of some of the things that Arch offers, I would say Manjaro's more up your alley, because Manjaro's more curated to the new user. It makes things like the AUR a little easier. Again, Manjaro comes with PAMAC or Octopi, depending on which version you get. It seems more geared towards the newer user. This seems. That being said, I think a couple bugs here and there. I had an issue with the network manager earlier where it didn't want to reconnect to my home network. I had to restart network manager. Just throwing that out there. I don't hold it too heavily against them. This is a brand new distribution. So I mean, just like something to expect if it happens to happen to you too. So what kind of a grade do I give this thing? I say A+, because they're. And I'm not saying that because this is terrific for new users or this is no. I say A+ because they've met their goals. They're trying to reach a specific audience, and I think this is exactly what that specific audience needs, or wants, or it will help that specific audience. I mean, every distribution is great, right? Like Albert Einstein once said. He said, I think this was his quote. Everybody is a genius, but if you judge how smart a fish is based on how well it can climb a tree, of course it's always going to be stupid, right? You're always going to look at it as being stupid, because you're not looking at it for what it is. A fish is great at swimming, right? So every distribution has its own use case. Every distribution has maybe things that it's good at, maybe some things that it's not so great at, and it all depends on what the audience that they're trying to reach is looking for, and how well that they convey it. And I think that Endeavor, as far as I can tell right now, it's a lot easier to install than EndeavourOS. Okay, a lot more things seem to work out of the box for me than when I tried EndeavourOS, and it seems that it's just it seems close. Nothing's perfect, but it seems very, very, very close to perfect for what it's trying to achieve, which is a group of users who want to learn how to install Arch Linux via vanilla Arch, but they're not quite ready to make that jump yet. Or the Arch community can be somewhat elitist at some points and very rude to new users. And it seems like they have a pretty decent community on their site there, that they're very welcoming to new users. Manjaro does too, but Manjaro is a different use case. So, with that being said, I'm just gonna wrap this up. I might play with this a little bit more. I might go live a little bit later. Keep an eye out for that if I do. Not saying I will, saying I might. Because real life and stuff. But yeah, what are my thoughts on this? I think it's a great distribution. I think it's great for what it's trying to do. And I think if you're out there and you want to give Arch a try and you want to learn how to install Arch and you want to get used to the Arch way of doing things, give Endeavor a try. Boot it up. Check to see what's going on with it. And I think it'll help you out a lot. If you're willing to learn. So with that being said, I will say have a great day, all you Linuxers. And I will provide a link to Endeavor's website in the description. Okay. Thank you, and have a great day. Bye-bye.